So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now the stories I wanted to cover today includes the Factions 2 slight reveal, but there's some impressive tech set to come with the game, and I'm excited to talk about that. Spider-Man and Venom came out of nowhere yesterday, and I'm surprised not more people are talking about it. God of War Ragnarok's whole situation and delay was recently shut down. And a big reminder, next week is the full launch of the new PlayStation Plus service, bringing with it PS1, 2, 3, and PlayStation Portable games on PlayStation 5, which I'm excited for. First, from 1 to 10, what would you rate the Summer Games Fest show from yesterday? I personally put it at a 5 to 6. It was an okay show. There was definitely some good stuff shown, but it was so long. I'm happy, of course, that it exists to showcase a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but it was such a long event. So for that, I would put it at a 5 to 6, but that's just me. What about you guys? From 1 to 10, what would you rate the Summer Games Fest from yesterday? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, next week is big. So, of course, this is official news. This is official information that most people know, but a quick refresher, PlayStation Plus Essential, Extra, and Premium drop next week. Essential is just PlayStation Plus as it is now. Extra gives you access to 400 plus PS4 and PS5 titles. That number becomes important in a sec. Just wait for that. And Premium gives you cloud streaming access, access to trials, and access to another 340 plus PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and PlayStation Portable titles. Next week is finally the full launch of the new PlayStation Plus service here in the West. It drops on Monday, June 13th. I say full launch because those numbers I just mentioned haven't been reached for the Asian launch of the service or the Japanese launch of the service. I think with the Western launch, this is the big one that will get called out on a larger scale, more so compared to the previous regions if it's not up to par. Make sure those PlayStation 1 games are NTSC and add more of them, along with more PS2, more PSP, and more PS3 games. Like, I don't get why they don't have all their first party there already, or like they're ready to go with their first party, especially on PlayStation 3. I don't want to see just Resistance 3 again with 1 and 2 missing. That's not different from how it was on PlayStation Now. I'll leave my thoughts until next week when it finally comes out and I can fully dive into what the service offers. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Spider-Man Venom surprise. So this was a big surprise for me, and it was more so confusing not seeing anyone really talk about it. Yesterday, we got a new trailer for Midnight Suns, and in that trailer, Spider-Man and Venom both made an appearance. This was a surprise to me because it didn't look like a PlayStation exclusive. Considering how Sony has been locking down Spider-Man to PlayStation to even make Spider-Man on Avengers a PlayStation exclusive, you'd think they'd continue that trend, but nope, they're both here, and it looks like it's for everyone this time around. It's even more interesting considering the guy that voices Spider-Man on Insomniac Spider-Man games, Yuri Lowenthal, also voices Spider-Man in Midnight Suns. Go listen to the trailer again. You'll notice the voice if you didn't the first time. Regardless, I don't really care if the Spider-Man character is on other platforms, and my PlayStation 4 Pro is safe. Don't worry, I'm not about to saw it in half. It was just surprising to see. This could mean more games to come with Spider-Man on other platforms, but you guys let me know if you care about the Spider-Man character being on other platforms or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, Factions 2 and the tech behind it. So yesterday we got a good chunk of Last of Us content. Last of Us, the remake, was leaked earlier in the day and was fully unveiled at the Summer Games Fest. It's dropping later this year on September 2nd for PlayStation 5 first and then PC at a later date. When I saw the trailer, I was pretty impressed with the visuals. This definitely is a substantial jump from The Last of Us 2014. It was crazy to even see a small amount of people talk about not seeing a difference. I hope they were joking. If they weren't, I don't know what eyes you have on, but you should definitely get those checked. As someone who plays Factions multiplayer daily, I see the visuals from The Last of Us Remastered all the time, and the remake is a huge jump from that if the screenshot comparisons didn't already tell you that. It's also going to bring gameplay mechanic changes and pretty much modernize the game. Neil Druckmann said they took what they learned from Uncharted 4 and Last of Us Part 2 and brought it here for the remake. One thing I'm not a fan of is how Joel is put into the corner of the cover. Why did that need to happen? The first game is his story and the second game is her story. That's how I understood it, but now it's Ellie as the focus all the time. I personally don't get that, but it's just a small gripe on the cover art. But from there, we moved on, of course, to My Baby Factions 2. But all we got was concept art. That's all we got was concept art. It's just a bit frustrating considering we heard about this game being big and its separation from Last of Us Part 2 all the way back in 2019, almost 3 years ago. They were working on it even before then, of course, and now we won't hear anything until 2023, making it in development for what, about 5 to 6 years by that point. I have trust in Naughty Dog with this, so I know they'll deliver, but we actually have more information here from Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb revealed some details on their giant bomb stream where they were streaming the Summer Games Fest. He stated this, reading from Twisted Voxel: according to Grubb, Naughty Dog is working on a standalone multiplayer game that isn't necessarily factions. It'll be a live service game, and the studio is putting in all the services so they can switch in and out large chunks of it. That's why they've been working on it. They've been trying to make it larger and bigger and more ambitious ever since. He went on to say that Naughty Dog delayed the game because they wanted to make it more ambitious and unique than just another factions game, as well as expand their tools to the point where they can quickly produce new material and install it without requiring massive downloads on the player's end. So this sounds like Fortnite levels of online play. And before you jump on the hate train here because I mentioned Fortnite, I don't know why people just get triggered off of that. Fortnite has an ability to update and evolve more so than any other online experience I've personally ever seen. And it seems like they're trying to do that here with Factions 2 or whatever they decide to call this. Maybe Warzone from Call of Duty could also learn from this, especially on the small download size part, considering how big installs are for that game. Regardless, this seems to be a very ambitious project, but I hope Naughty Dog doesn't forget what made the mode so loved from back in the day until to this day. The 4v4 game mode, that needs to make a return with this new game. I can't wait until we hear more. So this is actually a quick update for this God of War Ragnarok story. I actually had another piece of this also involving Jason Schreier, but he actually released an article this morning pretty much stating that God of War Ragnarok is slated for a November release, and we should know more about the release date later this month. So I assume that means that we should be getting a state of play later this month. This information comes from Nibble over on Twitter. I can't access the article myself, so going off of that, we could possibly have a state of play for God of War Ragnarok finally later this month, and I am beyond excited. And it's kind of funny that they're putting it right after the Xbox event. You know, they had to wait for everybody to go, and they already had a great state of play before everybody, and now they're going to have possibly a God of War Ragnarok state of play afterwards. I'm excited. This is great news. Hopefully it comes to fruition. Jason is usually solid, so I believe it's going to come to fruition. Let's wait and see, of course. But you guys let me know if you think God of War Ragnarok is still coming this year or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps. So subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with bring on the date. Obviously, this is in reference to God of War Ragnarok and its release date. If the game needs to be delayed to 2023, I'm all for it. That's fine. If the game needs it, it needs it, and I think everybody else would agree. If you agree with what I'm saying, destroy the comment section with bring on the date, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.